20 wickets have fallen on day one of the Boxing Day Test match between Australia and England at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. 20 wickets. Are we heading for another 2 day finish yet again in the Ashes? Because Australia 152 all out. We felt, oh, England have finally come to the party 11 days too late. But Scott Boland, the MCG specialist, Mitchell Stark, then you look at it, Michael Neser. Neser must play. Hashtag will continue to trend. England have been bundled out for 110. And to add insult to their injury for England, Scott Boland came out as the night watchman and he scored a boundary. So the lead now is 46, but 20 wickets falling on day one. Harshad, first thoughts. Are we seeing a 2 day finish yet again, or do you think this test will go a bit longer?
It's extraordinary where this Ashes has led us to, because you thought at the start, 11 days back, let's talk about 11 days of Ashes cricket. Let's go back, and not precisely just 11 days, because that'll take us somewhere else. So 11 Ashes cricket days, if you have to go back, we were talking about 18 being the big number. And you thought that 18 could not be topped, because yes, we love Ashes. Yes, we love a good game of cricket. We all love Test cricket. But was that a good advertisement of Test cricket? Not really. Did the pitch have a lot to do with it? Not really. But when 18 becomes 20, you start to question, well, was it really the pitch again? Or was it again bad batsmanship as we had seen in Perth? I think the answer will be the latter. And again, don't think if there's too much wrong with the pitch. I don't see a lot of up and down bounce. I see consistent bounce. I see a even spread of grass as well. Yes, it's assisting the bowlers, no doubt about that. But is it offering enough assistance for there to be 20 wickets, both sides getting bowled out within a span of 90 overs? Don't think so. Don't think so at all. And yeah, this will be an extraordinary Ashes, no matter where we end. And I don't know if you can top this one. I don't know if you can top 20 wickets now, because this Ashes will be remembered for there being two instances where you saw 18 and 20 wickets fall each. It's extraordinary, simply said that. It's just extraordinary.
If you have to look at what was the difference between Perth and Melbourne, in Perth, I thought the batters threw their wickets away through false shots. The pitch had a little bit to do in it, but they threw their wickets away with some poor shots. Here, I would say that the pitch was far more spicier. Look at the way how Josh Tongue got rid of Steve Smith, seaming in, nipping back in through the gate, and just bowling Steve Smith. It takes something extraordinary to beat the caliber of Steve Smith in that sense, and that's why I think this pitch in particular, there was a lot more spice. Josh Tongue exploited. You look at the mode of dismissals. There was good cutback in. Look at the way how Root got out. Look at the way how each and every individual got out. Even when you look at it, Ben Duckett tried to hit it, but the ball stopped on the wicket. It kind of seamed away, and he got the edge, a leading edge when you look at it.
There were
So,
some poor dismissals as well, Siddharth, I
yeah,
felt. Let's talk about that Duckett dismissal. Yes, he's a man woefully out of form, but again, he threw his wicket away. Harry Brook also, because he had started being adventurous, and you had to, after a point, you knew you were going to give away your wicket, because that onslaught can sort of work in Edgbaston as it did for him, but it won't always work out. So yeah, again, I have mixed feelings about it. But see, Cape Town was again the kind of wicket, Siddharth, where you could have seen 20 wickets fall, and we saw those many wickets fall in a day. When I see that Cape Town, I say that yeah, this is down to the pitch, and you need to be having a poor rating for the pitch. You have to feel for the batters to be batting on that kind of a pitch. It's nowhere close. It's chalk and cheese. What Cape Town was, and what the MCG pitch is at hand.
December and January, is it the time of bad pitches? Because that happened in January, Cape Town. This is in December, and you saw what happened in Perth, although the Perth wicket received a good rating. But I would honestly say that there are two things here. One, poor technique on these kind of pitches, because we knew England and Australia both played an all pace attack. Australia
Yeah.
played five pacers. You had a Green, you had a Stark, you had a Boland, you had a Neser. Everybody chipped in. England, when you look at it, Gus Atkinson was there. There was Josh Tongue. There was everybody else
Cars.
who could chip in. Stokes also got in. Cars chipped in. And because Tongue got the wickets, let's make no mistake about it. Josh Tongue, he's more of a seam bowler, ideally suited for these kind of conditions. He's not a hit the deck. He's not the kind of thing that, okay, you need to toil away, toil away, toil away. And that's why the pitch only had a minuscule kind of understanding on the nature of dismissals. I mean, I agreed. The car stroke towards the fag end, that was a horrible shot to play. The one that Boland bowled, plumb LBW, Harry
No,
Brook. It was
even
wickets,
even
Scott
look
Boland.
at even look at see this is credit to both teams as well, but I'm just trying to see how much of a role the wicket played in every wicket or certain wickets. The wicket of Ben Stokes on the England side, and when you look at Alex Carey, there were
Yeah.
plans set for both, I felt. So that's good gamesmanship, that's good cricket, where there's a plan and the opposition falls for it. That makes for a good contest. And that's what we saw, I think, with both, because the keeper was up, the slip stayed exactly in the slip cordon where you expect the slip cordon to be for a fast bowler, but the keeper was up. So that was a very interesting passage of play, if you ask me. Same, I would say, for that carry dismissal, very smart on Stokes to be bowling a certain length and line, but just changes the line and ensures that the leg slip that was planted, the catch reaches the fielder over there. So again, was the wicket at play over there? No, not really. So we've counted about 4 5 batters anyway, and
Because
that's a good 20%, 25% of the wickets that have fallen today.
Because if you look at what happened in 2021 in Melbourne, similar. No one got going on that particular spicy wicket. England have bundled out for 68 with Scott Boland taking 6 for 7. You look at the Melbourne pitch that was used in the India BGT match. I mean, there when
Yeah.
you saw all 5 days, there was seam, swing, movement, but it was a truer wicket. There, the
Yeah.
batters also, if they got their eye in, they could get their runs in. But here, whatever you tried, they just couldn't get their eye in. I mean, look at how many balls Steve Smith survived. Look at how many balls Travis Head survived. I mean, when you look at it, Jake Weatherald, everybody at the top when the ball was hard and new on a grassy pitch of 7 millimeters of grass, they decided that yes, we shall, our techniques are just not suited for it. And that is why a 42-run lead at this point in time is gold dust. But I will tell you one thing why the Perth wicket
Uh-huh.
wasn't rated bad. Because on day two, when it traditionally became much better to bat on, Travis had showed with 123. What if the pitch becomes better to bat on from tomorrow? I doubt, because I think from day three onwards, it starts to deteriorate even further. What if the pitch becomes good to bat on? Then I think that entire logic that yes, the pitch should be rated poor, I think then that will gain traction. If
Yeah.
tomorrow the match is over, then Melbourne deserves a straight poor. It happened in 2017, by the way, when it was such a featherbed in 2017 Ashes that you couldn't get all 40 wickets. You had to struggle for 30 wickets also. That's why at that
Hmm.
time it was rated poor.
It's
If
gone the
tomorrow
other
the match is
extreme.
over, if tomorrow the match is over, I think you should rate the Melbourne pitch poor because you paid for the Boxing Day test, which is one of the vintage tests in the calendar in
Yeah.
Australia, and you're only getting to see 2 days. There has to be some serious introspection. Then, if tomorrow if it's normal, you bat till three, 4, then I think it won't be a poor pitch anymore. That's where I think
Hmm.
this is the logic about it. But then England,
I would
can
still,
they get
Siddharth,
in?
I would still
Yeah.
reserve my thoughts on that. I'll tell you why. Because I want to see firstly how tomorrow plays out, and even if I'm saying tomorrow is an exact replica of dismissals that we saw today, I'm not too sure if I'm outrightly giving this pitch a poor rating. I'm not sure because I may have not seen the best batting from both sides today, and that's my grouse with both teams. As a cricket fan, I think I'm let down because there were certain batters, including a Harry Brook, who realized that half the side was back in the hut, and there was perhaps no point in trying to apply yourself and see where the resilience sort of gets you to. There was still about a couple of wickets in hand for England, but I think with Harry Brook, the idea was clear. He was there to counter punch. Yes, he got some runs, but the idea was never to go out there and spend a lot of time. Clearly, that's what I could gauge from Harry Brooks' stay in the middle. So if batters are going to have that kind of a stance and give away the wicket, then I'm not sure if I want to then be putting it on the pitch and not on the batters.
I mean, even Atkinson showed you can bat. If you apply yourself, you can bat. I mean, look at those fours, look at the sixes that he hit. It was all unconventional. One was a four-handed smash down the ground, one was a six that he
Yeah.
hit. It was a message to the top order. Like, if you apply yourselves, you can ensure that you can bat on this particular wicket.
Siddharth,
But because so many bad decisions,
on couple of occasions, I'm sorry I cut you short. On couple of
yeah.
occasions now, we've seen a Travis Head show to not just members of his own team, but the other team as well. That listen, guys, you're just making batting look tough. It's not really that tough.
Oh yeah, but anyway, Travis said I think he should not play his Boxing Day Test match on his birthday because whenever he's played, he's not had a good time. Last year, I think he fell for 0-1 against India, if I'm not mistaken. I think
India,
he avoided a pair, and now he's fallen cheaply in Melbourne. I think Melbourne's not one of his more favorable wickets when you have to look at it. But yes,
he's
tomorrow Travis Head's exploits and Steve Smith's exploits will be the key because again, Australia were also staring down the barrel. It took the tail, especially Green and Carey and
uh-huh.
Neeser. Neeser, I think he is now your genuine all-rounder. He scored 30 plus runs. He ensured that he got 3 wickets today. And that's why Michael Neeser, that's why the hashtag is going on now. Hashtag Neeser must play. And with
Yeah,
Cummins gone, I think Neeser is your right fit at this point. Jai Richardson also, although he didn't get wickets, but he was a good support to the likes of Stark, Neeser, Boland. But a word on Scotty Boland, Harshad. I mean, what
before that,
a
Siddharth,
man.
there is, yeah. Before we come to Scotty Boland, I have a question. In fact, this is a search I want to make right now. Since I have you, Sid GPT completely works for this question that I have in mind. Steve Smith, his record at the MCG, there's some 13 odd ducks are there. I thought I sort of heard something like that on the comms.
See, Steve Smith overall in international cricket has had a fantastic record at the MCG. I mean, if you look at
Uh,
it, I remember in 2016-17 against Pakistan, he hit 165. Last year against India, he hit such a brilliant ton in the first innings, Steve Smith. You look at 14, he hurt India again at the MCG when he hit 192. So that's why Steve Smith has a phenomenal record at the MCG when you look at international cricket overall. You say
okay.
13, maybe it's a combination of test and ODIs combined. That is the amount of
Ah, yeah,
tons that
yeah.
he's got.
Perhaps I wonder why the commentators would mention that particular number then if it also took into account list A cricket. But anyway, I may have just heard an excerpt. So just
Yeah,
was trying
but he's
to
got a fabulous record at
check
the
with you.
MCG. I mean, he's, I think,
Okay.
only second best to Don Bradman at the MCG when you have to look at it. And I think he's sandwiched between Bradman and Ponting, if I'm not mistaken, in the MCG records that's there. So Steve Smith, all onus is on him. But then again, see, he's also been made to look mortal. He's not had the ashes that you would want. He didn't do well in Perth. In Brisbane, he only came towards the fag end. Adelaide, he missed because of vertigo.
Missed.
Now here he's fallen cheaply. Steve Smith is mortal, my friend. Let's make no mistake about it. Even the greats can have their downslides. So that's why he's got one more innings. But it looks hard for Steve Smith on this particular wicket because I don't know, either he's trying too hard or the old stance. He should revert back to the old stance, just far more wider and far more unorthodox so that he can get those runs in that particular thing. So, yes,
Hmm.
Steve Smith, all eyes will be on him and Travis Head tomorrow if they are to get a total in excess of 250, 300. Because I think a score of 280 plus has never been chased in Melbourne. They tried in 2011, but India fell short by 122 runs. I think 280 plus is the
Hmm.
highest ever in Melbourne. So it's going to be very
Interesting.
interesting. But then before we take the comments, Harshit, Scotty Boland, MCG
Scotty
specialist,
Boland.
build a statue for him.
Well, that statue should have been built by now. And he was once again just too good. He's made for this venue. He was born over here. He was born to dominate here. And yeah, Scotty Boland, MCG. It's a match made in heaven. Mitch Stark set the tone for Australia with those couple of early wickets at the start. And just when you wanted somebody to come in and ensure that pressure remained on the opposition, in comes a Scotty Boland, serves up beautiful deliveries. All of them, in fact, wicket taking. I would say there was only so little that the batter perhaps could have done. Just the hint of assistance which he needs, and he knows if the wicket has some assistance to offer, he knows exactly where to land the ball. And once he figures out where to land the ball, well, you're only at his mercy then, and that's exactly what you saw today. Complete control, precision, and yeah, a top performance from him at the end.
I mean, if I may add about Scotty Boland, I mean, these are the kind of wickets which ensures that you don't miss a Josh Hazel. Imagine if a Hazelwood was there, a Boland would not be able to play. That's the thing. Unless or a Nathan Lyon couldn't play, a Boland will play. Because look at it. Hazelwood, Boland, these are the kind of bowlers who will thrive on these particular wickets. I mean, look at the
Yeah.
way metronomical in that channel, outside of. If it comes back in, you're in trouble. If it goes away, you are in. And I think what has ensured that Boland is far more effective is that Alex Carey standing up to the stumps. Carey standing up to both Neser and Boland has ensured England can't attack them. Because if
They
you look at
can't
it,
use the crease then.
yes, and if you look at Goodland Channel, how can I charge down without getting stumped? And that is where I think the brilliance of the captaincy, firstly, in Steve Smith plus Pat Cummins, then the metronomical line. I mean, look at the way how we dismissed. I think if memory serves, Joe Root in cutter, cut him in half, and that's it. It was all done. And even the way how even Nisa, I mean, these are the two guys. Who's missing Cummins and Hazelwood? No one's missing them. Nisa's doing the job. Boland's doing the job, and that is why MCG specialists
You
bring him on.
know,
I mean, he's performed well even on
it's
flat decks at the MCG. This is next
it's
level.
actually scary, Siddharth. It's scary what Australia are doing right now. They're not even full fledged. They've not. In fact, when the Ashes does complete as well, when the Ashes do complete, you'd look at it and say that this Australian side again. It scares me. It scares me because not in any match would you have seen by the end of the Ashes there be a full-fledged Australian side. You wouldn't have.
And they have won
Somebody
the
or
match.
the other has not been around at times. Two stalwarts of the four haven't been around. But even then, if they can pick up 10 wickets on a day, if they can take a 3-0 lead in the Ashes, I don't see what comes in their way to the WTC final of 2027 then.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the table, Australia have got a perfect record. They won all six matches, so they are on top with a 100% success rate. New
That's
Zealand
what.
are second, South Africa are third, and for two Ashes at home now, Australia
Yeah.
haven't fielded their full strength team. Look at it. In
Is that
2021, Hazelwood after one test missed all four. Then
where
here,
is the team we talk about the most?
where are they? Where are they?
Hmm.
Despite that, England can't win. Despite all that.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
2025, Cummins has not been there, Hazelwood's not been there, you know, Lions also out, yet you're on the cusp of making it 4-0. Yet you're on
Hmm.
the cusp of making it 4-0. But if England can get some quick wickets, say dismiss Australia under 150, then and only then England have a chance. Otherwise, if it's 250, 300 plus,
Uh,
game over. I don't see them winning at all in this
but
particular
where
case.
do
But
you
then,
see
yeah,
this going? Where do you see this going? Before we get into the questions, where do you see Australia finish? Are they lasting two sessions tomorrow?
I think they are. I think we won't see
Okay.
a 2-day test match. I think we may see a 3-day test match at this point in time because the pitch won't ease up. It will only get worse unless Melbourne's been served in a different way altogether. It starts off like spicy, seaming, swinging, and then it just becomes a shirt front. Although I doubt that happens. Although in the traditional Melbourne case, it's never happened. Today it was cloudy as well, which aided swing movement. Tomorrow and day after, it's going to be absolutely sunny with temperatures well over 35. England have got a day of toil coming up, but if Australia get to 250, game over. I don't see England chasing this down that easily on a pitch which will be far more difficult. So 250 plus 42, 290, 300, game over. I don't see England chasing this down. So yes, 20 wickets have fallen. Halfway already we have finished. We have finished half of the test match in one day. That's how scary this is. And that's why
It's
it'll be very interesting to see how things go on from this
it's a
point in time.
huge commercial loss for Australian cricket and the ICC. Huge one.
Yes,
The
yes, yes, yes.
Ashes may have brought a lot of joy uh, to Cricket Australia, the entity as a sporting entity. Financially, though, they'll have to think about something else.
Exactly, exactly. So I'll just take a couple of comments now. And
Yeah, Siddharth.
yeah, so Anshu Mishra saying, Sidvi sir, comparing Root Smith is like comparing Bradman with Angelo Matthews. Oh boy,
Huh?
because Matthews has
Why?
more test runs than Bradman. Smith, I mean, that is a hard comparison here, Anshu Mishra. I mean, look,
Yeah.
Root has fallen for a duck. He's had only one century in Australia, and his average in Australia is close to 40. But yeah, Root is a genius in his own right. Yeah, it's like, see, Steve Smith, I understand. He's carried the mantle. He's batted on tougher conditions, has scored runs in India and England as well. I agree. He scored runs in tough conditions, but that's harsh on Joe Root here. I mean, what has the poor guy done? I mean, he's gotten the conditions where he's wanted to play in.
Yeah.
Yes, but by the end of this tour, I had said if he doesn't have a 500, 550 plus series, then I think there will be question marks around Root. That is that one country in which he never managed to do well, and that was
But he has a
Australia.
hundred now.
He has, but I said that if you want to maintain your standard of greatness, you need a 500 plus series and in an Ashes.
I
Steve Smith
agree
has done
with
it
you,
twice
Siddharth,
or thrice.
but see, again, there is so much that England cricket have to worry about, and I doubt if Joe Root is one of them.
I
If
know.
Joe Root has to be one of the bright spots in that England team, actually. And
Yeah,
and when you look at it, uh, he has that century. Number one, number two. When you're not getting any sort of support from your number three, today you had a new number three in the midst of the series in a
yeah,
Jacob Bethel. So where is that solidity going to come in the 11?
correct, correct. Because you know why, Harshit? This could be the
Hmm.
last tour for Joe Root in Australia. Next tour is only in 2029 when I look at Ashes. I don't think Root will be around by that time. And that is what one of Indian sports fan is saying. Root can't play a WTC final not until June 2029. He his away win Ashes until now December 2029. Is he waiting to outscore Sachin on the day, or the Palms want to celebrate him as a best test batter in that sense? Look, I will make a bold prediction now. If Root doesn't score in Sydney, say he just scores about 30, 40 runs more, or he just scores about less than 100, he's not breaking Tendulkar's record. He isn't. Because with age, reflexes will start to, unless he scores 600, 700 runs in those baseball roads against Pakistan and against, I think they are facing South Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Unless he scores runs galore against them, then and only then he has a chance. But if he doesn't do well in the next three innings, he is not surpassing Tendulkar for 15,921. That is the thing. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think Root's chances even in 2027 WTC is over. England, they have 2-2 and now they are 3-0 down,
Yeah,
potentially
yeah,
4-0 down. They have played 10
I agree.
tests. How on
I
earth are
agree.
you going to? Yeah,
See, India could never
same.
bounce back after that New Zealand whitewash, right? You could never. How do you think after a 2-2 at home and potentially a 4 zip, 5 zip in Australia, or even optimistic scenario, let's say, let's make it 4-1. How do you bounce back? Very
Yeah,
difficult.
it is. It is very difficult at this point in time. So that is the way we are looking at it. So yes, action-packed 20 wicket day in Melbourne comes to an end. Half the test is over. That's the remarkable thing. One day, half the test is done, and we are looking at either a 3-day finish or a 2-day finish. That will all come to know tomorrow. So 5:30 a.m. the action begins. Melbourne. Weather is fine for the rest of the test match. Let's see how much can Australia score and whether England can hang in. So from me and Harshit, it is bye bye. See you. Hope you enjoyed an action-packed test. We'll be back with more updates from Sports Today.
Yeah.
Subscribe and tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. Bye bye.
See you.